I have the philosophy that money is just a tool, and that we should never ever let ourselves be defined by the fact that we don't have money or we do have money, but that core inner person is who we are, and that's who we need to nurture, and it has absolutely nothing to do with a monetary situation that we are in our life. So yes, when I performed on the streets, I did well, and I would make money. I then put myself through school as a designer, and I made very good money doing that. I was an exhibit designer. I worked on Expo 86. I had large clients, and I ran a design firm in Vancouver, and I made my living at that. When I came over to Victoria, I was still a designer, and I ended up running the communications department of the Conservatory of Music for 6 years, and then I was a marketing specialist for the city of Saanich. And then I was making good money as a creative, as a designer. I lived my life making my money that way. But then when I turned 50, I decided that I couldn't live this life anymore. And I had my own house, and I had been through my second marriage. We were separated, and I knew that to continue to live authentically, I needed to make some dramatic changes in my life. And I phoned my mother in England, and I said, I'm just so unhappy. I just cannot fathom living my life like this anymore. And she said, you need to sell your house, because I was paying a huge mortgage. I was by myself. It was a big financial responsibility. So she said, sell your house, get on with your life. And I said, well, where am I going to sleep? And she said, never worry about where you lay your head. Worry about reclaiming and living this part of your life again, like losing this time in your life. And I thought, that's so profound. And so I, at that point, decided that I would sell my house, I would quit my job, I would leave Canada, and I wanted to absolutely morph into that person that I felt I was when I was being really true to my creative self. And but I was giving up a good wage. I was making money. I had all that stuff. So, but the saving grace in all of that was my house. When I sold it, I made a lot of money from that. So I thought, this is a great opportunity for me, because I'm going to go into complete free fall now. You know, I'm going to park that whole thing about getting up every morning to do a job to make some money, because that's what our society tells us we have to do. And I'm just going to really step back and let the universe figure this one out. So I had gone and traveled for a year on the trains in Europe, did a lot of traveling for 7 months. And just before I left, my daughter had told me that she was pregnant. And so I thought, well, I'll be back for the birth of the baby. So that was 7 months. And I traveled from England to Paris, Paris to Prague, from Prague to Vienna, from Vienna to Istanbul to Turkey, to Athens, Greece, and then up through Italy, back to Paris, and then from Paris back to England in a matter of 7 months. And I did it enough that I felt that I was shedding that corporate, you know, because I was living just in the youth hostels, and, you know, going to all the art galleries, going to all the museums, all those places. And there was part of me that was like, you know, you're living on your savings, like what the hell are you doing? Because everything before that had been, and I was like, nope, I'm not defined by my monetary income. It was a huge psychological thing for me. And I came back and I thought, I have to look at this, what are we doing? And my granddaughter was born, and through that I started a line of children's clothing called Baby Boss Rules, edgy baby gear, which I did well with it, and that's how I started in the markets. But the adults were coming to me and saying, we want your line too, and that's how I created the Fused and the Green line. And it made me reassess who I was as a designer and why I was creating. And for me, it was very important to work with upcycled, repurposed materials. It became a whole different slant on why I was a designer. And I knew that this was something that I was going to have to build from the ground up. So I make some money. I'm not living off of what I'm producing right now, but I'm still in that startup phase of that business. But it's given me back my life. And I feel that for the first time in many years, since I first went to school, I have this carte blanche freedom to really, and the money will come because it's just I'm starting a whole new adventure, right? So